Welcome back to Lions News Fan Report. Tonight, I'm sliding something new onto the whiteboard. Not noise, not wishful thinking, but a clean line from who we are to what wins in January. Picture 3rd and 5 in a cold stadium, clock scraping under 6 minutes, the field compressed and the defense daring you to flinch. Now imagine we don't. Imagine we add one more trustworthy set of hands in the gravity well of the formation, someone who makes the middle of the field feel bigger than it is, and watch how the entire offense breathes. I'll keep the name in my pocket for a couple minutes, because the why matters more than the who, and if the why is airtight, you'll feel the fit before I even say it. Here's what I'm going to deliver, straight. How Detroit's current structure begs for one more high IQ body in the core. How two tight end football flips matchups without slowing us down. What the deadline market is actually doing, what the money says, in the exact price where I lean in versus the price where I walk. Start with identity. Detroit's offense is built on timing, protection, and discipline. The line is the culture, Pinay locking up the edge, Ragno sorting chaos, guards fitting doubles like they're choreographed, so Jared Goff can keep his feet honest and throw on schedule. Amon-Ra St. Brown owns the downs that keep the ball. Jameson Williams stretches oxygen out of the stadium. Jahmyr Gibbs turns angles into false math. And then there's Sam Laporta, the young tight end who already plays like a veteran, sudden in and out of breaks, fearless between bodies, slippery after the catch, able to align inline or flex and still sell the picture. With all that, why even flirt with adding another premium tight end? Because playoff football takes away grass and leaves you leverage. The windows shrink, safeties sit, linebackers robot back under crossers. You either win with body position and option routes, or you punt. One more chess piece in the core doesn't crowd Laporta, it multiplies him. So let's build the fit before we speak the name. I'm talking about a tight end who lives on choice routes, understands zone landmarks, and makes himself quarterback-friendly when the read isn't clean. He's strong enough to wall off a nickel in the seam, patient enough to sit in the soft shoulder of a hook defender, and tidy enough to leak late on a delay when the play moves off schedule. He's not going to run past safeties all night. He doesn't have to. He forces you to defend honest. He'll catch through contact, flip his hips, and finish forward. With that, our 12 personnel becomes a lever. We get base defense on the field, then we make base wrong. Now I'll pull the card. Mark Andrews, 3-time Pro Bowler, veteran savvy, still dangerous on seams and wheels, still the kind of player who is where the quarterback expects before the quarterback wants. He's on an expiring number in that 8-figure neighborhood, the kind of deal smart teams examine when their season tilts toward decisions. That doesn't mean Baltimore is holding a clearance rack. It means they're listening, and listening is the first step to leverage. The Ravens have another TE who can play, and a front office that finds value. The right offer isn't a fantasy, it's just not cheap. Let's go from clipboard to grass. In Detroit, Andrews doesn't replace Laporta, he unlocks him. Picture this, 12 personnel, Laporta detached to the slot, Andrews inline to the boundary, St. Brown in a condensed split, Gibbs offset. We motion Laporta into a short stack to stress communication, snap the ball and run play-action duo. Andrews sells the base block on the end, then releases late to the flat. The hook defender drives the flat, Laporta bends the seam behind him, and Goff has a layered picture he loves. Next drive we show the same shell and run quick slant flat. St. Brown sets a legal pick with perfect body language. Andrews runs the pivot at 6. Laporta whips back inside. First down with the clock rolling. Red zone, tight, nasty splits, both TEs on the same side, St. Brown on a hide route back across the formation, Gibbs orbit motion to drag a nickel. Andrews slams the pivot right on the goal line and boxes out for 6. The point isn't trickery, it's options, bankable ones when the game stops giving you space. This offense already hums between the 20s. Where it gets sweaty is when the field shrinks and every defender's hands are on your receivers. A second high-end TE changes who gets doubled. It calms Goff's eyes on 3rd down. It gives the play caller permission to live in heavier sets that still pass like 11. And it makes the 4-minute drill meaner. With Andrews and Laporta on the field together, we can pound duo until a defense chokes, then pull and boot for the cheap first down that kills hope. That's January football. Now the part where rumors usually fall apart, money and timing. The trade deadline lands at 4 p.m. ET on November 4th. That's a hard wall for medicals, installs, travel, and real utility. Andrews' current year cap is workable for Detroit. The bigger picture is 2026 and 2027. If you make the move, you give yourself a chance to negotiate early and structure a 2-year window with a roster bonus up front. per-game active bonuses that protect you if lower body dings stack, and incentives tied to playoff wins. The leverage to do that comes from paying the right acquisition cost. If you hand over a premium pick, you're buying the right to craft the next deal on your terms. If you overpay with multiple premium assets, you're funding the next contract twice. So what's real value? I put the line at a firm day 2 pick plus a conditional sweetener tied to snaps and a playoff outcome. That's aggressive enough to be taken seriously and disciplined enough to keep March open for a rotational edge or a veteran corner. Go above that and you're paying for a prime that already happened. Keep it there and you're buying leverage in the heart of the field without thinning the rest of the roster. Detroit's advantage is that we're negotiating from strength. We can hang up. We can win with what we have. Optionality makes you dangerous. I can hear the counter-arguments in my mentions, so let's meet them head-on. Why spend at tight end when Laporta is already a star? Because this isn't redundancy, it's multiplicative pressure. What about speed? You don't lose it. Jameson keeps the roof high. Gibbs punishes linebackers in space. St. Brown keeps his option magic. The second TE just steals a defender from each of them. What about the age curve? Tight ends who win with balance, nuance, and space awareness age far better than track guys. Andrews is in that first bucket. Locker room fit? Detroit's culture is adults only, and Andrews has been a pro on a program built on details. That translates. Let's respect Baltimore's Angel too. Their identity has long leaned on tight ends to finish drives and keep the middle of the field heartbeat steady. Moving a core player mid-season would require either a shift in their trajectory or an offer that lets them reset the room without losing functional value. That's why the odds are possible, not probable. Call it 1 in 5 territory. You don't build your season around a coin flip. You keep the door propped and the paperwork half filled in case the handle turns. I'm going to drop one more football note before we talk price one last time, because this is where it really lives. Benching corners in dime on third and medium is how modern defenses survive. 2 legitimate tight ends on the field at once erase that comfort. If a DC stays in dime, you run them over. If he goes base, you throw on slower bodies. If he tries match quarters and spins late, you attack the seams before the safety can overlap. And if he decides to heat you up, a big target on a hot slant is a quarterback's best friend. That's the math this move would change. If you're riding with me so far, do me a favor right now, tap subscribe and turn alerts on. I'm going to track this right up to the wire with fresh cap reads and real football notes, and this channel lives on your voice and your shares. Drop your package in the comments, 1 day 2 pick, 1 conditional, no starters outbound, and tell me where your hard stop is. If you'd pass entirely, say why and which position you'd prioritize in March. I read every single one because our best shows start in that thread. Here's my concise professional call to close this out. Andrews to Detroit is a calculated swing that elevates third downs and the red zone without changing who we are. It's not a rescue plan, it's a leverage play. I'm in at a disciplined number, a second or strong third, plus a conditional based on snaps and postseason success with early negotiation rights to shape cap and cash flow. Anything beyond that is chasing the headline instead of building the roster. Keep the standard high, keep the powder dry if the price climbs, and remember what wins in January. Options in tight spaces, not just speed in open grass. And now I want your voice in this. Does adding Mark Andrews to a room with Sam Laporta feel like the move that flips 2 or 3 tight games in January? Or is the smarter path to keep the picks and hunt edge and corner depth this spring? Tell me below what the package you'd actually send. If you value clear field plus cap analysis delivered with Detroit heart, stick with me. We're going to keep this honest, fast, and ahead of the news.